So, I'm not sure whether to call this that I'm going to do a masterclass or not, but hopefully I will share, I don't know, reflections or information that might be new to you or not. Perhaps the artists and the creatives will think, what are you talking about? They will think that I am very, very basic, but hopefully we will make it up. So, yes, I am Antònia Folguera, and I am a curator. And as Francesco introduced me, I work for Sónar Festival, and I curate the things that are not strictly musical. I curate the conference. To call it a name, it's not exactly a conference. It has talks like this, masterclasses, workshops. There's an exhibition. There are lots of digital, experiential artworks, etc. I curate, or I'm in the curatorial team for other festivals, such as Euphonic, in which we invited Francesco a few months ago. Also Stripe Festival, which is in Eindhoven, in The Hague, which I've been collaborating with the team for the last couple of years. And I curate other things, always related to art, technology, music, especially electronic music, and also science, and all the intersections that you can find between these things. So yes, and to start with, I think that I want to play you a very short video so you can have a sense of how Sónar feels. It's the video of last year, of 2020, because we just had our 2021 edition a month ago, so we still don't have after movies. But so if you can play a little film. Aquí encetem aquesta edició extraordinària de Sónar+D CCCB.
Muy pronto empezamos a plantear cómo la esfera de lo digital suplementaría a la esfera de lo presencial. Artistas, colaboradores que se los unirían digitalmente.
Some would like to dance, or others would imagine visuals in their mind.
We have to search another alternatives.
How do you keep it kind of vibrant and exciting and new?
Inventando nuevas maneras y nuevas plataformas para poder seguir creando.
Let's use every day, week, month, or year to come out of this stronger together.
What you've seen here, it clearly has like a pandemic feeling, like lots of people on screens, which is where we mostly have lived during the past almost couple of years. And also works in which we don't see the typical image of a festival, of a live event, in which the protagonist is not just the artist that's on stage, but the audience. And in here, you couldn't see any audience, maybe just a tiny bit at the exhibition area, because this was celebrated at the Center for Contemporary Culture, which is a museum, and back then, museums could be open and a few people could be in experiencing a few things. But the video lacks the most important thing that you need for a live event, which is the audience. And I also like to call the audience, because the audience, it looks like something that you don't belong to, like I'm the curator, the rest are the audience, that's not nice, but the community or different communities. And it's something that I would like to talk about a little bit, because when Antonella told me about the masterclass, she told me, tell us about your work and put the focus on live events. And that made me reflect on what is a live event. And we have in our minds, perhaps very, very clearly, concerts. Definitely they are a live event. Theater, it's a live event. This is a live event because lectures, talks, etc. are an entertainment format, I think. I think that at least I have fun, and I found it enjoyable just to listen to other people's ideas and learning things. So hopefully this is also entertaining. Perhaps not as intense as a concert, but entertaining. And it also made me think about, I would say, hyper-digital experiences. And I say hyper-digital because it's the word that appeared now in my mind, whether they are or not live event experiences. I'm thinking about the way that we have made festivals and events and other types of gatherings during the last year, in which we didn't have this super important component, which is the audience, the community. Still, when we do something that's connected, that's online, still it's a live event. Here's a camera. I can see myself over there in a screen. That means that perhaps this is being streamed, so there are people watching live. And this is a live event. And if you weren't here as a physical audience, it still would be a live event, because hopefully people in their homes would be experiencing more or less in real time. I know that streaming has something like a 7 millisecond delay or something like this, but it's still a live event. And that also makes me think about other formats. Like in the last months or in the last year, there is something like very, very old that's been around since most probably the 90s, which is the metaverse. That to many ears sounds like a super novel concept. Well, gamers live on the metaverse and have been living on the metaverse during many, many years now. And some nerds and freaks also have been living in other metaverses that are not so game-like for many, many years now. The other thing is that we have perhaps forgotten about the concept and forgotten about the fact that we can be in different places of the world and share a common digital space together and play and do things together. And I think that this is kind of live entertainment also. Even if the scenery, even if the space, even if the venue, it's a lot of rendered images. And that made me also think about formats that we are exploring in festivals, in film festivals, in music festivals, in digital arts festivals, in museums, which are virtual reality experiences. Are they a live event? Are they a live experience? Well, they can be. Sometimes they resemble a film, and it's like a passive experience where you just put on your Googles and you just be there. But what if when we put on our VR glasses and we enter, again, a metaverse, a digital world in which we can be together in the same shared digital space, and we can hear our voice, and we can listen to each other, and we can make things together, even if we are not in the same physical room. This is not common yet. The gamers are there, like the hardcore tech heads are there, but the rest of the people, we are not there yet. But this is possibly one of the kind of live events that have more potential for the future, because we can have any kind of venue that we want. We don't need to travel. We can, I don't know, yes, be in imaginary places, in other planets, and it can be a live event. But I think that technology is not there yet. It's there, but it's still a bit clunky. It needs a little bit more development. But I think that this can be a live event, as long as it's something that can get a community together. It doesn't matter if it's in a physical place like this or in a virtual place where we can be together and that we can, in a way, inhabit in an embodied way. When we experience different kinds of virtual experiences, the stronger ones are the ones in that we can feel that we are there with the body. And during the last year, there have been like lots of interesting experiences, like in which, unfortunately, the thing that people would talk about, it's, I would say, numbers and economic terms. During the pandemic, we heard about concerts being held in, I don't know, in Fortnite, in Roblox, in Minecraft, which are games, which are platforms that are meant to build worlds. It's not just places to play, but they are places to build and construct and create. And suddenly there were these venues for artists to perform live. And you can see there lots of avatars jumping and dancing and having fun. Perhaps not yet in an embodied way, but you cannot tell that these kids dancing in these worlds are not being part of a live experience, and they are part of this community of fans of the artist, this community of fans of the game, this community of fans of the platform. And the sad thing is that normally when we hear about those experiences, we only hear talking about how many people were watching. Like, the other day, Travis Scott was performing in Fortnite and there was like a gazillion people connected. Okay, that's great. That's fantastic. But I'm sure that there were more interesting things happening apart from a lot, like millions of people being together, being part of this community. And the other thing that people tend to talk about when they talk about games, they talk about metaverses, etc., etc., I guess because they don't belong there, is how many, like the volume, the economic volume of games. And they miss out like on the interesting things that are to explore, not just as a product, not just as something that, of course, moves like a huge economical value, but as a place to explore how live events can look in the future and all the possibilities that exist in between of being here now in this room and being also here in a virtual world. And that's one of the reflections about what is a live event that I have come up with. And the other one is that, especially in the festival area, we have been talking about during the last couple of years about hybrid formats, as if it was something super extraordinary, while I think that the thing that we have extraordinarily done is make a festival in difficult times. But I thought that there was nothing special in basically streaming something. Like, there are many festivals that have been streaming their events for many, many years. There are like people that have projects, especially the gamers, again, who make really good money just streaming what they do when they are in their homes or in the studios playing. And suddenly, it looked as if the people who work in the events industry, we were innovating a lot just because we set up a camera and stream some content. I'm not sure if that was the future of events, even though people would tell, this is the future of events. And I was like, okay, this has been going on for a long, long time. I'm not sure if it's the future, but it's the present. And I think that the good thing that has happened out of it is that people who organize events have seen for the first time the internet as a place that has a purpose beyond marketing, beyond selling tickets, beyond promoting your event, beyond having your brand on the internet so that your community can find you, but a place to create things. There are like many content creators that have been doing this on the internet since forever, I guess since day one, but in the, let's say, festivals, events industry, it seems that before the internet wasn't a place to create and to try to find formats and ways to present content. It was a place to promote, a place to, I don't know, to convince the people that they have to come to your event, but not a place to create. And I think that we have discovered a place to create, and that events and festivals, when they have rediscovered this place to create, I think that we have done pretty much interesting things. And these interesting things, I think that we have done them together with the artists. For us at Sónar, it was contacting the artists and telling them, okay, this year it won't be possible to fly you to Barcelona so you can make a performance. Can we do something on video? How do you imagine your work? How do you imagine yourself performing beyond the stage? And how do you imagine this beyond the format of the video clip? And we have found ourselves like having really cool formats made by artists when we gave like the internet like this chance to be a place for amazing content and not just a place to market and to tell what we done last year and things like that. And this is something that I think that it should be kept. And also, there is another thing about the future of live events, apart from this hybrid nature that has made us move to the internet as a place to create and gather the community, is finding ways in which content, whatever that is, if it's music, it's music, if it's a film, it's a film, if it's, I don't know, a performance, it's a performance, if it's something that still doesn't have a name for because it's too new that we don't know what it is, it's okay. That make sense for that medium. Because if we put a camera in front of a stage with some musicians performing, that can be great. But that's what TV has been doing for the past, I don't know, 70 years. I don't know how old is TV now. But if you try to make things that make sense when watched on the screen, I think that when we try to do that and we're serious about it, we will be able to create things that are really innovative and really cool. And that's where I think like the gaming community has advantage, because they are already doing all these kinds of things to play and to tell stories. And I'm not sure if I talk too much. How many time do I have? More or less 5 minutes. Yeah. So more or less 5 minutes, and just to put also some reflection about one thing that we also like very much to do in festivals, and I like very much to do it as an audience. It's another a magical word which is immersive. And the other magical word is experience. We all like immersive experience, and we all like to think that we make immersive experiences. And I think that in these immersive experiences, there is the future of entertainment, whatever this entertainment is. I studied film like 25 years ago or something. And I remember that one of my teachers told us, film is done. You cannot do anything new in film. Everything is already done. No matter how you try it, everything is done. And we were like, but how is that possible? It's not possible that everything is done. And he told us, yes, the only moment in when film is going to be innovative is when we are going to be able to break the idea of the frame. And funnily enough, virtual reality doesn't have a frame. So perhaps it's this new frontier for immersive experiences that serve the purpose of, I don't think telling stories, but living stories. Because, again, going back to the world of the gamers, when we watch a film or when we watch a concert, it is a frontal experiences. I am here, you are there, you are looking at me. And the sound comes from here. And that happens in film, in theater, in music, in TV, in here, in the mobile phone. Everything is kind of bidimensional and frontal. And when we play video games, unless we do something, nothing happens. Like you need to take the gamepad or the joystick and you need to push the buttons. So something happens. And this world, this digital world that's on the screen starts to move with you as you make things. And that happens exactly in virtual reality. You put on your VR glasses, and once you do something with a sensor or try to move or move your head around is when everything starts. So the things that we are going to see are this kind of really interactive, immersive experiences in which we will live in an embodied way, and most probably everything will happen live. And lots of imagery and visuals and music will be rendered in real time. So everything is more fun and alive. And then about live events, one final reflection is that records sound great. I know, music, when it's recorded, you can listen to the same song over and over and over again, and it's fantastic, and the song becomes part of your life. The same happens with film, the same happens with books, etc., etc. But when you are together with the rest of the community, with your friends and your friends of friends, and people that you don't know that share the same interests as you, you are together in the same room, in the same venue, experiencing the music, watching the film, seeing the theater play, or listening to a lady with a yellow blouse telling you things that maybe doesn't make any sense. But hopefully, I will have thrown out at least a couple of ideas that might have tickled your brain, and perhaps in a few years, not many, just a few, we will be together in a funny, fantastic, amazing, incredible digital world, doing something also really amazing that will be the future of live entertainment. And I think that's it. Thank you very much.